We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ, it has been a minute.
Oh my god.
We once again we recorded 2 hot episodes, then said, fuck it, we're leaving everybody alone for...
I literally dropped the mic in the middle of the episode. I was like, hey, I'm actually going to call it quits on this. I'm not feeling it. See you later.
It was just a tough... We did one right before Christmas, and then we were planning on doing another one, and then we both got tired, and we're like, fuck it, we'll just do one after Christmas. And then someone decided to get COVID, so... We had to put a pin in that for a while. So we missed quite a bit of stuff. Probably the first thing I want to talk about is John Mulaney being in rehab for coke and alcohol.
What?
Yeah, this was weeks ago. This was right before Christmas, I think.
I didn't see this at all. Was it on the New Year?
Might have been. He relapsed because of quarantine, which makes sense. But I always found that funny when people talked about John Mulaney, because he is a very silly comic, and he has a a lot of people he's a 1950s person stuck in the future, and he kind of briefly talked about his drinking days and being an alcoholic in some of his comedy before, and everyone's like, oh, that's so charming and cheeky. No. You need to understand something. If a comic is an alcoholic, but their on-stage presence is like John Mulaney, you gotta understand they were a fucking monster when they used to drink. It wasn't a fun, oh my god.
Oh, the drunk uncle, he's fine.
No, that man used to get hammered. A menace to society. And I don't know John Mulaney personally, but I can just tell you from personal experience with meeting comics who drink, none of them are well-adjusted. And so I was not surprised to hear him go, just off the deep end in quarantine. I was like, fuck yeah, good for you, John.
You get you some.
That was... I remember there was this one comic that I was friends with who told me about how she'd been sober for about 6 years, I think, and then she relapsed for about 8 months, and then got sober again. And I was like, that must have been really tough. She's like, it was honestly one of the most fun 8 months of my life.
I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Because that's the thing, is that every alcoholic's I'll just do it for a little bit. I'll come back for a night.
Yeah.
I'll come back, I'll drink, I'll have a good time. And then 8 months later you wake up and you're like, fuck, I need to quit again. So, it's a tough road, sobriety, but because you want to romanticize it. You want to look back and be like, no, those were fun days. It wasn't sad. I didn't used to wake up and hate myself for the decisions I made the night before. I was fucking partying. But in reality, you were just drinking Sambuca in a Taco Bell parking lot at 3 in the morning.
Trying to French kiss your mom.
Exactly. Gotta put some moves out there.
Oh, God.
So yeah, that was the first thing we missed. Trying to see what else. Oh, I've noticed a big trend of porn stars moving to different social media. It's a weird.
I don't like how we always come back to porn and somehow you have more information on this, as if you're going to Alexis Texas on Twitter and being I need to keep up with your life.
I probably should at this point, but really what happened was I saw a YouTube video, a YouTube channel for Riley Reid, I think. And it's a cooking channel where she's her and 2 of her friends just bake stuff and talk. And I was like, is this what porn stars do when they retire now? Because before it was well,
they are real people.
No, without a doubt. But it's weird to see someone transition from porn to hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week we're gonna be cooking muffins.
Having your 12-year-old daughter
it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And it's not. I have no real problem with it, but it's just jarring to see Johnny Sins on TikTok. And he is. He just is.
This is the best part about this too. They're oh my god, I love Johnny. Let's look him up on Google, see what else he's been a part of. It's oh my god,
TikTok,
16-year-old scarred for life.
It's very,
or 6-year-old.
I mean, I guess it's better to what the alternative used to be, which was once you got out of porn, you either had to go into stripping or you just went back to the trailer you came from.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a sad state, but like Riley Reid, like the whole reason I clicked on the video was because she was like, my ex-boyfriend almost sent me to jail for drug trafficking, and I was like, what? And this was like,
Stop.
it was like a story of like before she got into porn and how she was like messing around with a drug dealer who like tried to pin charges on her to get out of it.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, yeah, like that's the kind of story you would hear from a porn star. I think that's the backstory. That's my oh my god, what the what the fuck, the hero story where you, oh my god, like Spider-Man. I'm trying to think. Origin story. There you go. The origin story of a porn star.
All right.
Broken home, drug dealing boyfriend, almost went to jail.
Bad daddy.
Bad. So it's definitely, it's strange.
Stepbrother.
But I think it's going to be interesting to see, because right now I think is probably the most crossover we've ever seen between like mainstream media and like the porn industry, especially with like OnlyFans and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait until we see like a porn star like fully transition to become like an actual like actor or actress.
Like a Victorious with.
Yeah, like Alexis
Mia
Texas.
Khalifa.
Yeah, Mia Khalifa is like acting with George Clooney in like a movie. And everyone's like,
oh wait, Iron Man's alive and he's got a new sidekick.
Exactly. What was that? Oh, fuck. Forget it. But, yeah, it's just very interesting for me to see that. I think it'll be... I think give it 10 years and you're going to see, like, someone who started out in porn, like, being in a main... And honestly, I didn't used to give porn stars credit for, like, acting. I was like, whatever. But, like, having had sex a few times in my life at this point, like... The conditions have to be just right for me, or I like just lose the mood immediately. Like if a light flashes in my eye, I'm like, okay, this is weird. I don't want to do this. And those people are standing completely naked with a dude with his dick in a pizza box, and like 6 other sweaty dudes that look like me just filming behind them, and they're still fucking and pretending to enjoy it well enough that at least I can believe it. So I mean, that's acting to me. Like that when I really thought about it. I think I had to see like a behind the scenes shot of porn, which is always so funny to me, like that you hire a guy to film the behind the scenes if someone's gonna be like, oh my god, the DVD extras.
Do you think they just have to hire like a bunch of like absolute psychopaths that aren't just like getting erections, like jerking off behind the screen?
I think that there's probably some like professionals in the industry, some guys that are like, I've seen and done anything, bukkake, gangbangs, filmed it all, and I bet there's also some like guys that are just in film, like, technical stuff.
Yeah.
And then they, like, get roped into it, where all of a sudden it's like, I got, like, a job today at, like, 12 o'clock. I don't know what it is. And, like, they go there, and it's like, all right, you're going to want to put some lights up there and in the corner here, and then we're going to do a transition shot from where she goes from riding cowgirl to reverse, so we're probably going to want a light from underneath. And what the fuck? What? Huh? I didn't know this is what we were doing. I thought this was, like, a school production. It's like, well, it's a school girl production, but you got the idea.
Oh god.
Then Shia LaBeouf apparently assaulted his ex, which doesn't surprise me at all. Like,
no, that guy's nuts.
He's absolutely like when
Running
it came
from your life. Shut up.
Like when I saw that news, I was not surprised that he was like, because he admitted it too. He's like, yeah, I wasn't the best boyfriend, and I was like, Shia, you definitely like cold cocked her once. Like, he's just too much of an. And then I thought about it this way: what happens if he didn't actually hit her, but he was just really deep into a role, and the role would have hit her, and so that's why he did. He's a method actor. You got to remember that. He got an actual tattoo on his chest to play a role. It would not surprise me if he was like, I'm playing like a greasy 1920s gangster. He came home, his girlfriend's like, where have you been all day? I thought you said you were going to be home by 5. He's like, shut the fuck up! And just hit her. And he's like, what is going on, huh? It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. There's the Jim Carrey one, too, that happened where he got... What was the documentary? I think we watched it together, actually.
He was playing Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
I forget the name. Is the movie just Cough? But I forget. But
yeah,
that was like the one. And like anytime people ask him questions about it, he always goes like, no, that was Kaufman, not me. It's like, all right, Jim.
Okay,
all right,
Jim. Yeah.
You also played the Grinch in the same lifetime, so let's calm down. All right, you're not Daniel Day-Lewis.
Fucking cat in the hat looking motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't get to like claim like I was lost myself on the role. Like. That is so great an excuse, though, to say, like, I was an asshole because of that. But then at that point, you would have to lose yourself in every role. So, like, in Dumb and Dumber, he actually just became...
What's his counterpart's name? They're looking at him like, Jim, are you fucking okay?
Jim can't be left alone, offset by himself. We need someone to watch him. As the Grinch, he's just running around orphanages, practicing stealing presents. Because he knows that no one's going to complain. The orphans weren't expecting anything anyways, so...
Just walking around the neighborhood like Beverly Hills, just like eating trash out of the trash can. Like, Jim, is everything all right? I'm practicing! Fuck off! Like,
you will address me as the Grinch. Ah, Jesus Christ. The Homeowners Association really just going to let him do this? I don't pay my taxes to live next to this. I'm trying to think. We talked about this before, but not on the podcast. They have like one of those stores that sells like crystals in the mall.
Oh yeah.
Here, and they it's like those like crystals that you buy to like balance the energy in your life and all of that. And I just started thinking it was very funny to me, the idea of like someone walking in there and just grabbing one, and someone be like, "Sir, sir," and he's like, "No, I'm good. All right," and like walking out, like using the energy from the crystals and never buying anything. And it's like that guy comes here every week,
gets down on his knees and like Super Saiyan, like ah! And they're like, "Sir, you need to leave." Like, "Nah, I got what I needed. It's all right."
He resets his chakras every week, and he never pays for it. It's like the equivalent of going into a bookstore and reading the books without paying it. It's ridiculous to me. Like, if you truly believe in that stuff, would you not be, like, I'd be, like, watching everybody like a hawk, be like, don't fucking touch that one. You're going to take all the magic out of it. You think we're just going to recharge it for free back here? We got to send it to a guy out in Colorado.
God damn it. Another used amethyst. It's the fourth one this week.
And then also in all those stores, they had, like, dream catchers, which is something that I don't think goes along with rock gem spirituality. But they're just like, fuck it, this is white hippie shit now anyways. And, like, seeing that stuff, it makes me think, like, do you think when the Native Americans were being wiped off the continent and, like, their entire history of their people was being obliterated, that they were like, at least, like, stoner white people are going to love having our dream catchers hanging up in their room and not appreciating it for what it really is? That would be like if like
the culture lives on.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be like if like almost all of Europe was eradicated by like a different race of people, and then like they just started hanging up like crosses like for fun in like different places, like just like the burnouts of their society were like, these are fucking really cool, man. Like these used to mean something to people. Like it's dope.
Like, I mean, isn't that kind of what that is?
Yeah, that's
nowadays, anyways.
It's
just
exactly.
Like, nice cross. Yeah, I don't really know what it's for, but it looks cool on my neck. So.
All right, hold on. We have Josh Chapman calling in here, so let's see if we can get him on the phone. How's it going? We are now in the middle of recording the podcast, so way to do a sick physical bit on a audio-based platform. That's dope. All about that good radio.
How long was that conversation?
How long was what conversation?
Conversation with me, Poppy.
Ooh, I don't know.
When did I call you?
A while ago. But we were talking about Native Americans losing their entire culture, but then every shitty vegan named Alexa would put a dream catcher over their mirror while she does blow. Like, do you think that while they were being, like, genocided, they were like, at least she'll get something out of this, you know? The tackiest part of our entire religion.
There had to be at least one person transcendent thought. I realized that Samantha from Brooklyn, while she's getting blow sucked out of her asshole, would at least have the demons caught by the dream catcher that she had above her.
That actually is the most logical argument I've ever heard for having a dream catcher.
It was very cool and collected there, and it actually freaked me out.
to catch the demons from having someone do blow out of your ass. That makes sense. I'm realizing my dad, like, he likes to think that he's an old-fashioned guy, but he doesn't have the skills to be an old-fashioned guy, you know?
Okay.
Anybody who says that they want to go be an old-fashioned person has the skills.
Yeah, like, he wants to, like teach me stuff. Like, he always is like, there's things that, like, you know, like a father should teach his son, but he doesn't know how to do them, so he'll, like, invite me over and then make me watch a YouTube video with him, and then he'll do it. And I'm like, I could have just watched the YouTube video by myself. Why? Like, if you're going to give me the illusion of you teaching me something, at least watch the video without me first. Like, it's just such a I'm like, one time he was like, I'm going to teach you how to fix the AC in your car. Like, you need to recharge it. And then he literally just had me hold his phone and scroll through the video to the parts that he needed to see so he could fix it. I'm like, I could have done this at the comfort of the couch by myself and watched this whole video. You're not adding anything to the experience.
Oh,
Did you bring up about him not being aware enough to watch the video and then teach you as if it's his own knowledge?
Yeah, it's just a weird thing to be like, this is something that you should learn how to do. Like a father should teach his son. I'm like, well then, you teach me, not the YouTube video.
It'd actually go further our relationship more if we did this and fucked it up, and then watched the video afterwards and had a good chuckle about it.
Exactly. And then also, my dad has stopped sending me political stuff because
That's probably best.
it's for the best. Because he sent me something about like Tom Brady supporting Trump, and I was like, Tom Brady knows how to play football, but nothing about the economy. And then he stopped sending me stuff from that point forward. I'm like, I don't know what you think he knows, but it's nothing.
Tom Brady's the GOAT. Yeah, but
Taking Wall
is
Street
he...
by storm. I don't know.
Yeah, he's the GOAT in football, not economics. He's not out there winning Nobel Peace Prizes every year. I would absolutely love a Bill Belichick, Tom Brady duo, just racking up Nobel Peace Prizes every year. just an old...
Thank you. Yeah, we actually released some of the pressure in the football, and then it released some of those gases into the atmosphere, and it created more ozone. You're welcome.
Yep. Just a dude, like an old grumpy scientist, and then some young guy that looks like he has no idea what the fuck he's doing, but somehow he always figures it out.
Cuts off the sleeves of his lab coat.
Yeah. And everyone's so mad because they can't figure out. It's like, how do they cure cancer 2 times? How does that even work? How do you cure cancer twice? How do they keep winning? Like,
this is our 7th consecutive victory.
What would their helmet catch be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ebola gets a little out of hand.
This would actually be, COVID would be their thing. It was like, we were this close to making real life anime people, and then somehow we fucked up and made coronavirus. I don't know what happened. I don't know. We lost track of what was important, but we were going to win that 7th Nobel Peace Prize, and then something cracked, and so now he moved to Florida.
Thousands of people are dead. We're distraught here.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
My mom was telling me about an old family friend of ours, whose husband passed away of cancer this year, and her grandson ended up committing suicide on Thanksgiving. So a tough year for them.
Didn't we just
Talk
about the Swedish thing with the sauna and then jumping into the snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you just did that.
Yeah, this is a big change of topic, but yeah, like her husband passed away and then her grandson committed suicide, and so my mom's like, she's been going through it. I'm like, yeah, it's got to be tough, especially right now, like having to isolate and be on your own. She's like, she actually invited me down to come visit sometime soon. I was like, well, hold on, Mom. She sounds cursed, so I don't know if that's the smartest idea. There's a lot of people in her life dropping like flies. I don't want you to be the third.
We talked about this.
See?
We talked about this, Jake.
See?
We said we were going to clean up our act.
See? And that's the thing. My mom wanted to get mad at me too, but I saw her smile first. I'm like, no, you don't get to be mad. You laughed. You don't get to be mad at me because you laughed first. I got out of it.
I'm not condoning this any longer. I can't do it.
What was that, Josh?
I said there was a hollow pit in that woman's stomach that's just getting filled up every time you make someone laugh with that joke. Fills up the dead husband and son's face.
I mean, if we can't joke about that, what are we going to be able to joke about, right? You know? The PC police are trying to take away all the good stuff.
Well, this is just me being a
All right, Karen.
Don't get carried away.
Oh, God.
I started thinking the other day that laws are bullshit. It's just people making up stuff. Like, I don't understand why you need a law degree in order to, like practice law.
I agree. Additionally, why? How many are there?
Like, how many laws?
It just seems like there's a lot, and that they get real specific.
Yeah, like engineering, you need to learn how engineering works because there's a correct way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things.
Okay.
But in lawmaking, they've fucked up all across the board.
But that is kind of the point, is it's so fucked up that they need people specifically to be able to kind of pull it apart and make sure that everybody understands what it is they're actually getting into in relation to the law. So if you don't have people that can specifically...
See, but we've been doing that and it's still fucking... the people, the whole system that our laws are based off of are just because a couple of dudes were like, all right, here are 10 rules, fucking follow them. The third one was, we can't make you have military stay in your house. That was the third most important rule that came to their head. First one's freedom of speech, press, religion, right to guns, fucking sick. Then military can't sleep in your bed. All right, those are the three most important things that we should write down, right, guys?
These are the three rules you write down immediately after being invaded by the greatest, or the largest empire on Earth.
Of course.
I feel like that's just...
In the context, it makes sense, but then even then, the 10th rule was just, if we didn't write it down, you guys get to make it up now. They really just were like, fuck it, we don't care, whatever.
That's just good improv.
Well,
That's just good improv.
God.
But, so it makes more sense to me that, a philosopher or, someone who studies ethics would make laws better than someone who just studies the law. Because, all it is just set off of, precedent. What was it? A judge in Maryland said that now rap lyrics can be admitted into court as a confession. So, if some rapper's on a track saying, I was pushing dope, it's all right, that's a confession, and we can put it into court now. And now that's just a law.
I mean...
So you're getting into, the idea of... What is it? Whether a law has precedent or not. What they're trying to decide.
I think that if you study law, you lose the forest from the trees, you know? Or the trees from the forest, whatever it is. You're too in the weeds to make any right sense of it. The 90s, real tough on crime laws all came because every politician was if we just punish them more, that'll probably fix things. And then it made the worst prison state on the planet. Because they had no idea about anything else other than we can write a really strict law. Will it help people? I don't fucking know, but I can write a really strict law.
We'll follow the laws.
Yeah.
Well, you just don't live in those states. I mean...
that's just... lawmakers across the country, it doesn't make any sense to me. It would make sense if you wanted to be a lawyer that you would study the law to me, but to become a lawmaker, it would make more sense to study something else.
Yeah. I just like the idea now that you literally, when you move to the United States, they should have, a map up there, and they should have it sectioned off, color-coded, like, oh, do you want to be just passive-aggressively angry about everything? Move to Massachusetts. If you want to be super calm and really just do nothing other than pick potatoes for the rest of your life, move to Maine. If you want to be fucking crazy and try to kill everybody just because it's fun, move to Texas.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I feel like that should be a fucking thing.
That would be... It would be really great if they had, like, a sales pitch.
Yeah, but
Like-
then you get like it's like the student fucking handbook that you get and you get to high school, like, yeah, like, let's see the rules, and then like each state has their own handbook, and it's like, oh, this is what will happen to you if you fucking move here: the death penalty, shotguns, coyotes shoved in assholes. Like, I don't know, like.
See, I was picturing it more like a timeshare pitch where they're like, all right, you move here, you got tons of benefits. Maine, seaside property, you can go to the beach whenever. Boom, lots of places to hike. That's great too. You want to kill yourself 9 months out of the year because there's nothing to do ever. So that's kind of a drawback, but that's a small thing. It's a real small thing. If you don't like that, we could always go to some place like Idaho. Beautiful Rocky Mountains, great agriculture there. It's coming up on the world. Also, Napoleon Dynamite takes place there. So that's something, you know? A real small problem. You have a good chance of being Waco'd at any moment, but that's just, you know, real small thing. Real small thing, nothing big.
The shape of our state is a little absurd, but we're all right with it. It's fine.
I mean, and then, of course, you got a place like Alabama. You go down there, no low taxes. That's great. If you're not an immigrant, probably a great place to live. If you are, don't go there. Probably not going to be pretty safe.
If your mom and your dad are attractive people, you know, there's a really good chance that they're going to have really good-looking kids, like yourself,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and you can fuck them down there.
Yeah,
So that's,
it's
you know, a
totally,
big bonus.
Totally not a faux pas. Oh, also, do not say faux pas down there. They will think you're saying something in Arabic, and they will attack you.
Find a new way to dry your hair, people. You can't put a towel up there.
My girlfriend was talking about my medical history because she's like, you're like, both your parents had cancer. Like, so you're going to have cancer? I'm like, more than likely, eventually. And she's like, well, that's not good. I'm like, well, I'm not, like, hoping for it. But, like, if I get it, I'm not going to be like, where'd this come from? Like, I'm like, yeah, it was about time. But, yeah, I've been expecting this. But I also told her that, like, when I was in high school, I had an irregular heartbeat. And so I had to go to the cardiologist for a few years just to make sure that everything happened. I think they said that, like, my heart was just bigger than, like, my chest could hold at the time, and I said to like grow into it. No, like a heart defect sort of thing. And so
This isn't a Grinch thing.
no.
Just circle back here for a second.
And so I'm fine now, but I'm like, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever have heart problems in the future. And she's like, do you think you could have like a heart attack? I'm like, I'm not sure, but if I ever end up in the hospital and you get called to go there, and they say, ma'am, your boyfriend had a heart attack. I need you to go. I told him to have Cheerios for breakfast this morning. I knew that was a heart healthy choice. And she's like, why would I say that if you're going to not be there? I'm like, because you know how great it's going to be when I wake up and the doctor's be like, that was the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard someone say to the heart attack. I'm like, that's my girl.
I need to throw us completely off topic, and you're going to have to link this somehow.
Okay.
Live impeachment updates.
Okay.
Heightened security at the Capitol House.
Sick.
Reconvenes the debate, Trump impeachment. Heightened security is what this photo is labeled, and it shows what I assume to be the Speaker of the House. I can't tell because of the mask, with 3 Secret Service members behind him, and military just lining the walls, all dead asleep.
Hell yeah.
Like, just like on the ground, just like laying there, like some literally like sprawled out, and it's just like heightened security. I just find this very ironic. You know, I don't know. I need you to see it. Just
Yeah,
to
as long
appreciate it
as
just a
yeah,
little bit.
as long as
Are you seeing
we're
this? Heightened
yeah.
security.
that's great. That's fantastic. I think yeah, as long as we're here, might as well start talking about the Capitol building. That's one of the other things we've missed.
I want to know, Josh. Josh, did you watch this live?
Yeah, I was sitting around all day doing nothing.
Were you cheering or were you appalled?
What's that?
Were you cheering or were you appalled?
I mean, I was amazed to see them just do resistance. It was incredible.
So many Johnny Snell looking motherfuckers.
It was quite shocking for me to see just the lack of resistance. But there was a couple highlights, I think. One, that dude carrying out the speaker's podium. It's just a fucking great candid photo. That is fantastic. Like, just walking around being like, this could never go wrong for me. Nothing will ever, this is the best day of my life. It's all uphill from here.
I'm free!
So happy. Just cheesing for it.
He doesn't even know how big he's smiling. Right?
Oh my god.
I am the podium.
So, that's great. I love that. I also loved, I guess loved is a strong word, the woman that got shot. Yeah. Just because I saw the video of it and I read more about it. She was a 14-year vet, did 4 tours overseas, and then got shot trying to crawl through the window at a Capitol building when a man very clearly is pointing a gun at her and saying, "If you keep coming, I will shoot you." And so it just makes me think, like, what the fuck was she doing over there that she got through 14 years of that shit? Where, yeah, like if you can't recognize the very real threat of a security guard standing point blank range saying, "I will shoot you if you keep coming," how did you ever survive Iraq? Like,
Well, she tactically ascertained the situation and determined that he was a non-factor.
Do you think there's like a security checkpoint, but of just straight Trump supporters, and they're all like, "All right, you got to do this line before you can go by. All right, keep it coming. Yep, keep the line coming. Only one per person. Here's your Coke. Okay, yep. Next one." And these guys are all just fucking juice, like going up, like, "Let's fucking do this." Bunch of hillbillies, Bowie knives.
I gotta say, for people that were planning a revolution, there was a lot of people dressed in animal furs, which I don't think. Which I love the aesthetic. I love we're going back to Vikings and wearing, like, spiked helmets. But I don't think if you're going to try to storm a place where the security has M16s, that your fur coat is going to help you through this. You should not be dressing like a supermodel to go start a coup.
Yeah.
And then also the dude who tased himself in the balls and then had a heart attack, and then his wife denied it. It was like, he never would have tased himself in the balls. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
I think there's at least a couple hundred people there that might have tased themselves in the balls.
Well, she just knows that he can take a taser to the balls. Real kinky sex where he can't get off unless he's screaming, "Stop resisting," and tasing himself. It's weird. It's a weird subculture.
And one of my favorite things to come out of this is all the people that are huge, like, Q fans, like, the people that, like, did the rioting and, like, broke into the Capitol. All the other ones that weren't there, like, this is, like, clearly staged Antifa shit, like, we would never do this.
Oh my God.
And someone, like, had a post where it's like, imagine you've spent, like, the last 4 years dedicated to Q, and then finally the one man that, like, you've followed like a god for the last 4 years says, "This is your opportunity to make me proud, go and storm the Capitol." You do, and then everybody else that said that they were on your side calls you fake and Antifa and, like, you're the problem. Like, how soul-crushing that must be. And then to get arrested for it afterwards. Like, to lose everything. Like, the only thing you had left was your online conspiracy theory, and even that was taken from you, because everyone's like, "You're fucking fake!"
That's how you get the Joker.
That's it. I loved that piece, to think that all of these people were like, "I finally did it. I proved myself to the board. They'll see." And, like, as soon as you post a picture, they're like, "You're the problem, Antifa."
I really love the way you just said
Antifa. I don't like it around here. These motherfucking wood cocks are in prison.
I don't like the way they smell.
I also started thinking about, like, how everyone just calls each other Nazis now.
No, everyone's a Nazi.
Yeah, I hate the use of the word like the comparison. One, because I think it's lazy. Like, of course, everyone agrees that Nazis are bad, but also everyone could pick one thing that the Nazis did that they were kind of like, that wasn't a horrible idea. Like,
Everyone can pick one thing.
yeah, if you're on the left, you love socialized medicine. If you are a huge fan of civil engineering, you love the Autobahn. If you're on the right, you love the fact that they were exterminating minorities. If you're on the left, you love that they made low-income housing, and if you're on the right, you love that they put only minorities in it. Like, there's a little bit of something for everybody. Like, it doesn't matter.
The concepts were too melded together.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, you used that very general term that everybody liked one thing that they did. I had no idea.
No.
When I think of Nazis, I think of exactly what you would think I would think of.
And that's the thing, is everybody just thinks of like, oh, they exterminated 6 million Jews.
It was a major part of their platform.
That was a major part of the platform, without a doubt. But there was other parts that people liked, and that's the thing, is that every side can, like, it doesn't matter what part of the political spectrum you're on, there's always one thing that you can point back and be like, the Nazis did that, and you're going to be like, so? Like, you're going to be like, some people have good ideas even if they're bad. And so I just hate the use of the term Nazi. I just think we should get rid of it. But then I started thinking, like, if Nazis didn't exist, like, what would be, like, the go-to, like, you're evil thing? Like, is there anything else in human history that we could really agree, like, is evil?
Well, certainly not anybody in the wars that we fought.
Yeah, we would be the bad guys.
We're going to justify killing farmers? Those damn farmers, the backbone of our country.
Yeah, like, it's, like, there's no other, so...
The scope would be on Russia at that point.
But even then, you have too many... Yeah, you have too many people that are fans of communism that would be like, they didn't do anything, like, horrible. And it's like, well, 30 million people died in China. Like, so that's something.
They had them to lose.
They were playing with house money, all right? They still came out with a little bit in their pockets. It wasn't like they were broke.
That was horrible. No, I apologize.
But,
yeah, no, Josh actually said.
But then I also started thinking about, like, everybody wants a form of eugenics, but we just can't agree on what type of eugenics.
Jake,
Examples.
I want to talk to you about these everybody statements.
Well, most people would say that, like, we wouldn't want to live in a world with, like... Most people would say we wouldn't want to live in a world where people are born, like, deaf or blind. Because, like, we want people to be able to live the full experiences. So we would want to eliminate the genes that cause deaf and blindness. So that would be...
Deaf and blind people, that would be very upsetting.
Of course. And so that's the thing, is that most people... Like, there's some things that we all agree is bad. Like, you shouldn't get rid of somebody just because of their race.
Yeah.
But, like, there's other things where we're like, hey, like, wouldn't it be better if, like, we had a cure for, like, Down syndrome? Like, wouldn't that cause a more fulfilling life for people? And then, yeah, see? And then there's other people that go, like, well, how are you supposed to be able to say that a person who has Down syndrome isn't living a very full and happy life?
Yeah.
And so, like, that's the debate with eugenics.
Are you even living a full and happy life?
No, I am not. Under my eugenics plan, I would definitely not be able to reproduce, without a doubt.
The issue.
Says it as if he has a plan in his wall in his basement. Like, these would be the first people to go.
Well, I remember, like, in high school thinking, like, not knowing the concept of eugenics yet, and so being like, like, if we wanted to make, like, people better, like, wouldn't you want to, like, take, like, a test to see if you could, like, raise a child properly? Like, instead of just letting anybody have
Which
kids?
should exist.
Yeah, and so I was like, that makes sense to me. Like, that doesn't sound bad. And then someone explained the concept of eugenics to me, and I was like, oh, yeah, that doesn't sound good, I guess.
I think just the thought of Billy Bob and Bertha down in the friggin' trailer park with no money to feed themselves, having 6 kids, and
Yeah.
I think that is
I think everybody could...
not socially...
I think everybody knows at least 2 people in their lives that just should not have kids.
Yeah.
But yet
And they
those...
have 7.
And yeah, but those are the people that are going to have the most kids.
Yeah.
Just adopt those kids when they're on the market.
When they're on the market.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Buy 'em early.
Child Protective Services is coming from anyways. Might as well.
Just looking out the window at my neighbor's house.
I think I have an idea about. Oh fuck! It's already 40 minutes. I forgot to do the ad. Shit. This week's episode is sponsored by a coup d'etat. Coup d'etat, a crunchy topping that you might put on avocado toast, or something that could create the collapse of the shortest democracy known to history. We here at When Tigers Used to Smoke want everybody to know that coup d'etat is something that we don't support unless it's the people that we like. And then we're going to totally support it because we're hypocrites and that's how coups work. Thank you, Donald Trump, for sponsoring this episode. This is what happens when we're off for too long. We don't get any good. The sponsorship money starts drying up.
God damn it, man.
Coup d'etat does sound like a very delicious topping, though. Something a little crunchy you would put on.
You're not wrong.
I'm not. You're gonna sit here and tell me that I'm wrong?
If I get abstract of thought, I can sit here and think of any word. Sounds like a crunchy topping. I bet you I can. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Oh, I forgot I had a bunch of other stuff up on here. Oh, we had 2 episodes of not harmonizing, Tris. We had the first couple episodes we had. We always had a part where we just magically
Get a fucking song up right now.
We can't, but it always has to come naturally.
God damn it.
I'm trying to think of some other stuff that we want to talk about.
Oh,
baby, you got what I need.
All right, I'm good.
Perfect. That was it.
I thought that was great.
Yeah. My friend has an OnlyFans, and she was saying that she was looking for more people to get subscriptions, so she asked if I could retweet the link, and I was like, sure. And she's like, why aren't you subscribed to my OnlyFans? I'm like, because I don't want to jerk off to you. And she's like, well, that's fucking rude. And I was like, do you want me to jerk off to you? She's like,
does this person's name start with an N?
No.
Okay.
She's like, that, I don't know. I don't want you to jerk off to me, but it's just rude that you so bluntly were like, I don't want to jerk off to you. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. If you and your friend are out and about and someone's like, are you two dating? And they go, ew, no. You're going to be like, well, fuck you. You couldn't get with me even if you wanted to. Don't say shit like that. Ew, no. Don't act fucking rude. So that's just what the new, are you two dating? Are you jerking off to my OnlyFans? No? All right, fuck you then. Am I not worth $5 a month?
Oh, man.
I don't know if I've talked about it here. I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast, but I understand why, people used to believe in witches, in colonial times here. Because, if you've ever driven through, the backwoods of Massachusetts and, on, a real rainy, kind of cloudy, shitty day and, heard a dog bark in the distance, you're like, the coven's coming for me. Living back there, if there was no houses and no electricity, I definitely would have been scared of witches constantly. Because, it just makes sense. It's, an area where you're like, this is witchy. I get it.
I don't know, man.
It's just, I wonder if there's, that's the same thing with other areas where, El Chupacabra, where you're kind of yeah, this is a place where a goat sucker would be. It just kind of gives me that vibe. If you went to other places, yeah, this makes sense. That there would be a local legend here for this. Because, Mothman...
Chupacabra.
Yeah,
They actually found holes in goats' necks down there.
That's true.
There's no
evidence. Ben on the soccer field... I saw that shit that day. Don't mess around with that, Josh. We all saw it.
We all saw the Chupacabra chasing after Ben. And then...
He didn't appreciate that. He didn't appreciate that at all.
Mothman doesn't make any sense to me. In West Virginia. Because, what part of West Virginia is supposed to be so, this makes sense, moths would, fuck a person? I don't know how this would work. All the other ones have cool origin stories. But the Mothman is just they just like accepted it. Like one kid in like the 50s was like, I saw a man and a moth and he chased after me and that's why I was home late. And everyone was like, fuck it, I guess that's the truth. It was definitely a Mothman and not... Yeah.
In a car in the 60s.
Yeah. That's just how it started. Was one kid came home late and I'm like, no, you were just fucking your date and you lost track of time. That's what that was.
Oh, man.
That's so... Getting caught in a lie so badly that you create a cryptid. Could you imagine getting caught like cheating or something and having to lie your way out of it so badly that you create like a new Loch Ness monster? That's my new theory. Every cryptoid is just some dude trying to lie because he got caught cheating, and then he just had to keep running with it. Sasquatch.
Vampire person.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though, honestly.
That's how the Sasquatch got invented. It was some woman trying to surprise her man on a hunting trip, and she came up there. She's like, "Why does it look like there's been two people here this entire time?" Like, you won't believe it. There was this big hairy ape thing came through, ransacked the cabin, ran off. She's like, "Oh my god, that's crazy. Do you have pictures of it?" And he's like, "Sure, fucking. Let me try to find him." And then it just picked out a really blurry looking bush. And was like, "That's it, right there." Fucking, that's it. That's Bigfoot. And also naming it Bigfoot too.
It was real simple.
What was it? What did it look like? Bigfoot!
It was real tall hair. It was like a monkey, kind of like a person. It had real big feet. It had huge feet. Big. You call it a Bigfoot, probably. That's the same thing with like movies. Like you never think of like how dumb the name movie is because it came from moving picture, and they're like, "All right, let's go see a movie." Like it's the same way like when like talking like movies with like pictures first came out. Like let's go see a talkie. I'm like glad they dropped that, but we still kept movie for some reason, and we just accepted
it's just
it.
like how instead of saying Instagram, you say Insta.
Yeah, but you didn't have to add. If we said Insta-E, I'd be mad.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
I
There were
would.
nasal sounds back in the 20s.
That's true. Everyone was talking with that.
You gotta think though, hey, all of this shit stemmed from like ape people, and rather than going like, they were like, "Yo, what's up?" And they're like, "What the fuck?" Like.
The evolution of language is strange to think about. I actually think that uneducated people probably make the most advances when it comes to language. Not
That is like, I took a linguistics course.
No language base.
Yeah, I took a linguistics course. That is literally it. Like the most headway that you make in language is with less as educated people.
Yeah, because
Without a doubt.
Because they don't know the words that already exist to explain the feelings they're having, so they just make new ones.
Exactly.
Got some blank You got a blank canvas, yeah.
Which I think is kind of silly to think about, but I do like that there's a bunch of nerds out there that know English perfectly, studied all of it, and then they just do that. They're like, "This finna be lit," and all of a sudden it's like that's the new popular thing. It's like now I gotta learn finna. What? Like
For Plumapalooza next year, I don't request that we all get together. I request that we all make a secret community in the woods, and we live there and create our own language and our own style.
Who's bringing mushrooms? I guess there's no way I could do this sober.
Yes, you can. Tents in the woods for the rest of your life? Come on.
Fuck, I was thinking.
Make our own booze? Maybe get a TV show after us?
I was trying to think of. Oh my god, what the fuck was it? I wish I had written this down.
May 21st. Be there, be there, be there.
Be there. I don't think I've talked. Have I talked about blacking out on dates on this podcast before?
Jake, I've had enough of your fucking social life. I really have.
Well, I'm a changed man now. I'm in a very happy, committed relationship.
Hey,
but
this is the thing, okay?
uh,
When I saw you on my porch, I was like, that's not Jake. There's no way. He looks clean. That's weird. Jake today showed up in jeans. If anybody even realized how much effort it takes for Jake to be in jeans, you'd be so proud of it. Like, look at you. Look at you, Jake.
I'm trying.
You're a changed man.
I'm trying to put myself out there. But anyways, back to being a degenerate. I used to black out on first dates, like, pretty consistently. It was, like... And the worst part is that I still went out on second dates with these girls.
Oh, come on, we all know they're all like, I'm going to change him.
Well, no, a lot of them just didn't realize that I was blackout. They were just like, oh, all right, he had a few drinks. Like, I remember this one girl I went out with, and, like, we had a good time. I definitely remember drinking a little too much and then walking her to her car and then walking back upstairs. And then the next time we hung out, she said something like in a weird tone. It was like, and that's why we don't eat pizza. I forget what it was, but it was like a weird tone like that. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, like the story you told me yesterday, like in the car. And I'm like, what story in the car? She's like, you don't remember coming to the car with me? I'm like, no. She's like, you sat in the car and we talked for like 3 hours. And I was like, oh, fuck, I remember none of that.
Oh, God.
And yet she still wanted to come hang out with me afterwards. And then I thought it was very funny, and I started laughing, and she didn't get the reference, and I don't think anyone else will. But, like, at the end of The Usual Suspects, like, when Kaiser Soze, like, walks away, Kevin Spacey's character, like, he walks away with, like, a limp. And then all of a sudden, like, you, like, see, like, as he's getting away from the police station, he starts walking straight up, and then gets into a limo, and, like, goes away. And you see that, like, he wasn't, like, the bumbling idiot that he was pretending to be. I was like, I, like, reversed Kaiser Soze at her. Where I was acting very prim and proper in the car, and as soon as she started driving away, she's like, he seemed a little drunk. And she, like, looked in the rearview mirror, and all of a sudden it went from me walking straight up to, like, slouching and, like, falling on the ground. She's like, son of a bitch! He reversed Kaiser Soze me!
Not again!
Not again! Don't let him get away!
Oh, shit.
I also think that colleges not accepting late work is bullshit.
I think they're just trying to teach you, like, real life skills.
I don't
real
care.
Life skill is to do work on time.
I don't care what they're trying to teach me. I'm paying you. Could you imagine any other service where, like, someone's teaching you stuff and, like, say you're paying for horseback riding lessons and then, like, you show up, like, a minute late and they go, like, sorry, I'm not going to give you credit for today. It's like, what? Like, I already paid. Like, you have to. It's like, no, sorry, you're just going to get a 0 on this. And it's like, why? It's like, well, what happens if your future horse riding employer has you being late? It's like, I'm just trying to learn how to fucking ride a horse.
I'm not gonna lie to you though. I've done that with a private lesson.
You have to get on your horse to ride it.
Like, I don't, because there's some courses, of course, that are important and that you should focus on. But when I'm taking fucking Intro to Humanities and I'm like 20 minutes late on a stupid paper about what the definition of art is, fuck off. Like, just give me the points. I'm paying you. Grade this shit.
Or I'm gonna make you lose your job. You can, if you get every single person in a class to badly review the teacher, they actually have to go to, like, a board at the end of the semester and, like, explain why people would do that. Like, to, like, save your job.
I'm betting I could probably get, with no real other actions or anything, I could probably get a whole class to turn on a teacher, I bet.
Yeah. Oh,
I
easily.
I just don't think it would be that hard to just be like, fucking just give them some bad reviews.
Well, when I had my final project this year, I wanted the A-, not the B+, and I was like a half a point away. So she goes, well, here's what I'll do. If you get at least 50% of the class to review the class, poorly or otherwise, I will give you guys extra credit. So I got, like, a 5-minute presentation on why, with, like, a PowerPoint, why we should all do this. And I was like, the whole time I was doing it, I was thinking, like, I could actually completely destroy this woman's career right here. Like, right here. She doesn't realize the power that she just put in my hand. I didn't talk all semester. I could hate her and ruin her life.
Yeah.
But I also found out like after doing my little presentation, that she was my professional advisor at school. So I was very happy that I did a good job. Because now I get emails about job offers.
Nice. So it all worked out in the end.
Yes.
Oh, good.
But the power that you could hold.
I really need people to start understanding that I'm not judging them when I tell stories. Like, I don't care what most people do as long as you're not hurting yourself or others. But I need them to understand that some things are just objectively very funny. Like, my mom always gets so upset when I tell stories about her that, like, she's like, oh, I guess I'm always the bad guy. I'm like, no, this is just objectively a very funny story. It's over. There's nothing else we can do to change it. I'm not upset. This is just a very funny story to tell. And probably the best, like, story I have of something like that is when I was at Lindenwood, one of my friends messaged me and she's like, is it okay if I like sleep in your roommate's bed like Friday night? I just got to be out of like my room. And I was like, yeah, sure. So we went out, we got dinner, and we came back and we were just sitting in the parking lot. I'm like, why did you have to be out of your room today? And she was like, oh, well, my roommate is gonna have sex with her boyfriend. I'm like, that doesn't require you to be out the whole night. She's like, well, it's their first time. I was like, oh. And so, for the purpose of the story, I'll tell you that the girl that I was talking with, like, hanging out with, telling me the story, her name is Meredith. And then the other girl, I will say her name is Kayla.
Sure.
So, she's telling me about how Kayla wanted to wait until marriage to have sex. And then she said, fuck it, whatever. We're just going to do it anyways. And so, Kayla's boyfriend would not buy condoms, so Kayla asked Meredith if she could go buy condoms for her, so she did. And I'm like, well, that's a red flag there, because if neither one of them can go and buy condoms, you probably shouldn't be having sex.
Probably should not be.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah, so that was red flag number one. Second thing, Kayla wanted to get some lingerie to make the event special. I'm like, well, he's having sex for the first time. It's pretty special.
It's pretty special.
But sure. So Meredith tags along with her. And Kayla finds this very nice, white, lacy, like, wedding night lingerie. And Meredith's like, I don't think that... And I'm, like, dying laughing at this. And she's like, I told her that was not a good idea, so I picked out a blue thing for her. I was like, this will work better for you. It goes well with your eyes. And then Kayla tried to get Meredith to pay for it as well. Like, not, like, her money, but, like, purchase it with her money. And so at the last second, Meredith pushed Kayla up to the front and was like, you do this. And so the cashier is like being nice, trying to have like a decent like kind of conversation. She's like, oh, this is really cute. Is it for a special occasion? And she's like, yeah. She's like, what is it? Like a birthday, an anniversary? She's like, something like that. And she's like, oh, okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, you wouldn't want to get something like this for your first time. That'd be crazy.
No.
Said that to her, straight to her face, having no idea. And so now I'm almost pissing myself laughing in the car. I'm like, this is hilarious. And then at that moment, they pull in to the parking lot. I'm like, where did they go? She's like, they went out to dinner today. I'm like, they went out to dinner? I mean, I guess that makes sense that you go on a date. She's like, oh, no, Jake, you don't understand. It wasn't just a date. They got up this morning. They went and worked out together, and then they went their separate ways. She went and got her hair done, her nails done. I'm like, this is her wedding day. This is like, she really did her wedding day thing. And then her phone buzzed, Meredith, and she's like, oh my God, and she had to pay for dinner too? And I was like, so this guy has put in zero effort so far. He has not paid for condoms. He definitely did not get any lacy lingerie for her. And he did not pay for dinner. And I just felt so poor, like badly for this girl, because I'm like, if this is his first time, if it's both their first time, it's going to last like 2.5 minutes. He's going to finish and then go to sleep. And she's going to be like, is this what sex is? Like, I hate this.
No.
And she's not going to be satisfied. And so I thought this story was, of course, just hilarious. So I started...
Yeah, emotionally damaging. You would find it hilarious.
It's objectively a very funny story.
Okay, yeah.
When you hit the line of...
Yep. That is exactly why it's funny. And so I started telling people that. And so... I like didn't give like her specific name, but I started telling people the story, and then she heard about it that I knew, so she like texted me.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't need to explain my lifestyle to you. I don't need to justify what I do. I'm like, no, Kayla. I want you to understand. I don't care if you wait till marriage, if you don't wait till marriage, if you have sex with your boyfriend, if you don't have sex. None of that matters to me. I just need you to understand that the entire situation you put yourself in, objectively, is a very funny story. Just point blank.
At the register has a place in, oh God. Was it the Greek Pantheon?
Yeah. Like that is like the classic tragic play. Like just
A beautiful comment.
And so like I need more people to understand like if I'm telling a story about you, it's not because I'm judging you for it. It's just because it is a very funny story. Regardless of what side you have, what opinions you have, it's just a funny story.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All right, so that was an hour, ladies and gentlemen. Or gentlemen, I guess. I don't know who listens to this anymore. No one.
Nobody.
Well,
Mom, thanks.
Mom. See, my mom actually... did we talk about this on the podcast beforehand?
We talked about what?
Oh,
Your mother?
no, we did. My mom
we
and
talked
I...
about this just in a room.
Yeah, my mom and I... my brother and I were reminiscing about, like, our hockey playing days. And then my mother was like, I wish that there was something that you guys had, like, passion for that I could, like, go and, like, watch and support you guys. I'm like, well, I do comedy. And she's like, yeah, I know, Jake. Like...
Oh, shit.
So I was like, all right, well, that very clearly is a pick something else. That's cool. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you tune in next week.